Power is not granted, it is seized. Your mind is a fortress under siege, and every overlooked action, every ignored word, chips away at your throne. Life is a battlefield, and you enter it every morning armed with intention or exposed to conquest. Every conversation, every glance, every pause is a skirmish. The weak accept their position, the prepared maneuver with precision. Recognize the invisible enemy, hesitation, distraction, and the subtle demand for approval. These forces erode authority quietly, leaving the inattentive unarmed. Treat your day as a campaign map. Observe patterns in colleagues, friends, and strangers. Predict movements and anticipate resistance. When someone dismisses your idea, respond with calm clarity, not panic. Maintain stance, project presence, and allow your composure to communicate the weight of your position. Weak, react emotionally. Strong, absorb, assess, and deploy reasoned influence. Guard your attention as you would a citadel's gate. Focus determines whether you advance or falter. Map priorities with tactical intent. Small failures, missed emails, delayed responses are not trivial. They are ambushes. Neutralize them with deliberate preparation. Let your silence carry authority, letting observation precede action. The mind that hesitates opens corridors for predators, internal or external. Assume responsibility for every loss, every oversight. Do not cast blame outward. Each recovered moment strengthens the throne. Each lapse costs influence. Reframe setbacks as strategic intelligence. Study errors to fortify defenses and sharpen foresight. Stand where others waver. Project the quiet dominance that prevents challenges before they arrive. Engage disagreements with composed authority. When a colleague challenges your plan, acknowledge their concern briefly. Restate the framework of objectives and advance without hesitation. Observe without overreacting. Your presence should command the room silently, creating respect without argument. Protect mental resources rigorously. Filter distractions, limit trivial inputs, and conserve energy for decisive engagement. The cost of indulgence in petty approval is the slow erosion of sovereignty. Execute your daily decisions as if deploying troops across contested territory. Each choice consolidates or surrenders ground. Treat interactions strategically. Every word is a maneuver, every gesture a signal. Reject passive compliance. Reinforce boundaries firmly and calmly, knowing restraint is often more potent than force. Build mental resilience through consistency. Your throne rises not from chance, but repeated, calculated effort. Every observer noting your composure interprets control. Every predator deterred strengthens your position. The battlefield is quiet but unforgiving. Let patience guide action, and observation dictate timing. The crown is maintained in measured decisions, unseen vigilance, and deliberate assertion. Commit to sovereignty before seeking external recognition. Your influence expands when internal command is absolute. Move deliberately, speak decisively, act strategically. Reinforce the principle that power is seized, attention is defended, and presence command. Close each moment with calculated reflection, preparing the next advance. Rule your internal domain with precision and clarity. Observe, control, dominate, command without apology. Your mind is a fortress, and sovereignty begins within before it can extend outward. Every thought, impulse, and fear is either a loyal sentinel guarding your throne or a saboteur eroding your control. Begin each day by surveying the walls of your inner citadel, inspecting which gates are secure and which have been left vulnerable to invasion. Guarding your gates requires discipline. Emotions left unchecked are silent invaders, slipping past your attention to destabilize decisions. When anger or doubt arises, observe it without surrendering authority. Neutralize distractions with deliberate focus, as a commander deploys troops to protect critical positions. The crown of clarity is forged in awareness, Every choice you make either fortifies the fortress or cracks its foundation. Decisions made in haste or under external pressure weaken your claim to influence. Study your patterns, recognize habitual compromises, and correct them as a general adjusts tactics after each skirmish. Machiavelli noted that rulers who failed to master their inner domain were quickly overpowered by those who understood both themselves and their enemies. Internal mastery transforms thought into strategy. Hesitation becomes territory lost before the battle even begins. When a subordinate challenges your plan, maintain calm authority, acknowledge the concern briefly, reassert objectives clearly, and advance without flinching, demonstrating command without aggression. Weak, react with defensiveness. Strong, absorb, assess, and project composed authority. Map your mental landscape with the precision of a chessboard, identifying critical points of vulnerability and opportunity. Silence is a weapon. The unseen observer gains control without expending unnecessary energy. Each moment of reflection, each mental adjustment strengthens your throne, ensuring that impulses do not betray your position. Conquer internal chaos before external battles arise, for no external victory can endure if the mind is fractured. Train vigilance as a daily ritual, cultivate patience and resilience so that thought itself becomes a defensive armament. Let observation guide action, turning insights into calculated maneuvers. Protect your focus as you would a fortress gate under siege, for the smallest breach can yield catastrophic consequences. Prioritize awareness, discipline, and decisive mental action, recognizing that power begins in the realm of thought before manifesting in the world. Every victory within secures influence without. Consolidate authority by mastering impulses, sharpening discernment, and commanding attention to your own internal processes. The throne is maintained by clarity, control, and relentless vigilance. Rule your mind first, and every external battlefield will bend to your strategy. Fortify the fortress within. The morning is a battlefield, and the first hour sets the terms for the entire day. Rising before distractions awaken gives you the first strike advantage, a psychological edge that positions you ahead of competitors and chaos alike. Treat the dawn as your preemptive assault. Every deliberate action in those early hours is a captured territory, a foothold of power secured before the world stirs. Rituals act as sharpened blades. Your morning discipline is both offense and defense, cutting through indecision and fortifying your mental lines. Begin with a sequence that commands attention: hydration, movement, focused thought, each step a strike against inertia and passive surrender. Momentum is cumulative. The victory of a disciplined start compounds with each following hour. Hesitation, even a single delayed minute, allows predators to infiltrate notifications, distractions, and idle thoughts, quietly claim territory, undermining authority. If a team member challenges your schedule, meet the dissent calmly, assert your plan clearly, and proceed without hesitation, demonstrating control without confrontation. Weak, argue and justify. Strong, acknowledge, redirect, advance. Establish boundaries for your time as you would fortify walls. Guard the morning as if it were a contested stronghold. Each task completed early signals dominance over circumstance, reinforcing confidence and readiness for later battles. Use the first moments to strategize, setting priorities with the clarity of a commander surveying the terrain before engagement. Mental focus is both shield and sword. The clarity achieved in stillness becomes decisive in action. Morning victories compound, creating an aura of command that influences interactions and opportunities throughout the day. Habits repeated consistently transform into formidable weapons, ensuring your presence remains unchallenged in your personal and professional spheres. Observe how leaders throughout history seized early hours to establish superiority, understanding that power gravitates to those who act before others react. Never allow lethargy to dictate your rhythm. The day belongs to those who move decisively while others linger in indecision. Dominate the dawn, and the remainder of the day bows to your initiative. Execute your morning with precision, decisiveness, and relentless focus. Seize the dawn, seize your power. Stillness is the predator's greatest weapon, a cloak that conceals intent and magnifies presence. The quieter you move, the more weight your actions carry, and the more others reveal themselves to you without realizing it. Silence is not emptiness, it is strategic armor. Each pause is a scan of the battlefield, each measured breath a mapping of threats before engagement. The predator does not announce the hunt. Observe, record, position. By holding your response, you gain advantage in both thought and timing. In negotiation, allowing others to speak first exposes weaknesses and ambitions. Your quiet authority exerts influence without confrontation, shaping outcomes with minimal expenditure of energy. Online, the unspoken comment, the unposted rebuttal, often resonates farther than an outburst, projecting power that words cannot match. Invisible maneuvers dominate the terrain, moving without distraction, listening without judgment, noting opportunities others miss in their haste. Weak, react instantly to every provocation. Strong, wait, assess, act with certainty. If a colleague challenges your restraint, respond with calm acknowledgement, then proceed according to plan, demonstrating control without escalating tension. Ritualize observation as a weapon. Before acting, survey your environment, anticipate moves, and let your patience dictate the tempo. Every interaction becomes a chessboard, every silence a calculated advance or retreat. Momentum builds through restraint. Each unspoken word strengthens your perceived authority and sharpens your focus. The predator's pause fosters clarity, allowing strategic decisions that overwhelm those who rush. Awareness becomes a sword, wielded silently, striking only when success is certain. Even small daily choices, when to speak, when to act, when to move, compound into a reputation of unshakable composure. This discipline is a fortress for your influence, a shield and a spear. Presence resonates in absence, power multiplies in the unvoiced. Master stillness, and the world will reveal itself to you while you remain untouchable. Execute patience with precision, control with subtlety, observation with vigilance. Silence is lethal armor. Every ruler must understand that a throne is only as strong as the foundation beneath it. Weak allies and toxic relationships are not accidents. They are invisible threats, eroding your power from within. Recognize parasites swiftly. Those who drain your energy, sow doubt, or manipulate outcomes for personal gain are liabilities disguised as companions. These can be colleagues who undermine initiatives, friends who consume attention without contribution, or habits that fragment your focus. Like a general surveying the battlefield, identify these elements clearly and without sentiment. Swift execution is not cruelty, it is preservation. Hesitation allows corruption to spread, weakening your influence and compromising strategic plans. By acting decisively, you protect your resources and fortify your position before small issues grow into insurmountable crises. Historical precedent shows the necessity of preemptive action. Leaders who tolerated incompetence or disloyalty often faced rebellion, loss of territory, or political collapse. Those who removed liabilities early maintained stability, projected authority, and controlled outcomes with greater ease. In modern contexts, this translates to cutting projects, partnerships, or routines that offer little value or breed inefficiency. Weak, tolerate every misalignment. Strong, remove obstacles before they challenge your authority. If a teammate disputes your decision, respond with calm clarity, explaining the rationale and focusing on the collective objective rather than personal judgment. Maintain transparency about expectations while upholding boundaries that protect your energy and influence. Cultivate discernment to distinguish constructive criticism from draining dissent. Treat each relationship and commitment as part of a strategic portfolio. Assess returns and risks consistently. Avoid sentimentality when it compromises progress. Mastery demands a willingness to let go, to sever ties without hesitation, and to realign forces toward productive endeavors. Like pruning a tree, removing dead weight encourages growth and strengthens resilience. Each decisive action signals competence, reinforces authority, and prevents decay from spreading unnoticed. Execute ruthlessness with precision, guided by clear metrics of loyalty, competence, and alignment with your goal. Preserve your throne by prioritizing the integrity of your inner circle and the efficiency of your operations. Let no distraction, weak link, or toxic pattern compromise your sovereignty. Eliminate the dead weight. Your presence is your first weapon. In every room, every meeting, every interaction, the posture you adopt, the tone you command, and the calm authority you radiate signal dominance before a single word is spoken. Visual sovereignty is not vanity, it is strategy. Stand like a general surveying the battlefield. Let your shoulders carry the weight of responsibility, your gaze projects unshakable focus, and your voice cuts through distractions with measured cadence. Each gesture communicates confidence. Each step asserts claim over space and circumstance. Psychological projection amplifies this effect. By wearing authority as armor, you deter challenges before they materialize. Allies and adversaries alike calibrate their behavior in response to your projected strength. Leaders who mastered this art historically avoided unnecessary conflicts, redirected potential threats, and controlled narratives with minimal effort. They understood that perception is a battleground as real as any field of combat. In modern contexts, apply this in negotiations, public speaking, or leadership meetings. Weak, slouch and murmur. Strong, erect posture, deliberate gestures, firm voice. If a subordinate questions your strategy, respond with composure, reaffirming principles and objectives without defensiveness, reinforcing both respect and clarity. Every detail of appearance and demeanor must reinforce your internal mastery. Armor yourself in certainty, in visible confidence, and in disciplined consistency. Your audience takes cues from your composure. Uncertainty invites challenge, hesitation signals vulnerability, and erratic displays erode credibility. Commanding presence is cumulative, strengthened through daily practice, conscious attention to tone, and careful curation of outward expression. Treat every interaction as a tactical engagement. Your external projection must be an extension of your internal state. Calm, decisive, sovereign. Let your image speak louder than argument. Control the narrative by embodying authority so fully that resistance becomes costly for others. Reinforce this mask through repetition, attention to detail, and disciplined self-presentation. Projecting power is not deception, it is alignment. Internal mastery is mirrored in external perception. Confidence is contagious, uncertainty spreads. Protect your sovereignty by consciously curating both your presence and your impression. Let the world measure you not by noise, but by the weight of your calm, the clarity of your direction, and the inevitability of your decisions. Wear authority like armor. Mastery is silent, unseen, and precise. True control does not roar from the throne. It moves through the shadows like a predator stalking the periphery of the battlefield. Every action must be deliberate, each decision a calculated strike that shifts the balance of power without alerting rivals. Targeted influence demands attention to detail, observe weaknesses, anticipate reactions, and place your interventions as one would position chess pieces to corner a king. Every interaction is a potential advantage. Controlled aggression is essential. Harness your anger and ambition as tools, not distractions. Let ambition sharpen your focus rather than scatter it. Channel frustration into strategy, not impulsive display. When a colleague challenges your direction, respond with calm, measured reasoning that reinforces authority without spectacle, converting tension into respect. Psychological warfare is subtle. Rumors, timing, and selective visibility alter perceptions long before direct confrontation occurs. The battlefield is often unseen. The victory is claimed in the minds of others before it is enacted physically. Observe opponents' patterns, predict reactions, and act with discretion. Weak, lash out in visibility. Strong, strike with precision from concealment. Anticipate resistance, preempt threats, and neutralize challenges before they materialize. Each move must reinforce sovereignty. Silence is your ally, speed your instrument, calculation your strategy. Influence spreads when unseen, control strengthens when discreet, and authority endures when unpredictably applied. Daily refine your observation skills, strengthen self-discipline, and cultivate patience. Let your presence loom without exposure, shaping the environment as a shadow shapes the light around it. Deploy resources strategically, speak sparingly, and act decisively. True mastery lies in anticipation and execution, not display. By controlling the tempo, perception, and timing of each engagement, you command without confrontation. Even victories without acknowledgement reinforce your dominance because they alter the structure of the field. Internal mastery manifests externally when every calculated step nudges the situation toward advantage. Remain unseen yet influential, measured yet decisive, silent yet commanding. Strike with precision. Protect your throne not with noise, but with the quiet inevitability of prepared action. Every calculated decision, every restrained response, every deliberate maneuver accumulates into undeniable authority. Let others underestimate your presence. Let them fail to predict your moves. Your power is multiplied through subtlety. Observe, calculate, and act. Strike from the shadows. Hunger is power, and power is never satisfied. Inside you lies a wolf, relentless, alert, and sharp. It represents your drive, your ambition, and the raw edge of survival that civilization often masks. Feed it with discipline, for structure fuels momentum. Feed it with vision, for a goal without clarity is a predator wandering without direction. Feed it with challenge, for ease dulls teeth and softens claws. Hunger as fuel transforms longing into action. Every unfulfilled desire is energy waiting to be channeled into decisive moves. Let frustration sharpen focus rather than scatter attention. Convert impatience into planning, doubts into preparation, and setbacks into calculated risk. The predator's patience is not inactivity. It is measured anticipation, waiting for the right moment to strike with maximal effect. Observe the field, identify openings, and act when advantage is undeniable. Hesitate prematurely, and opportunity slips. Rush recklessly, and dominance falters. Avoid complacency relentlessly. When the wolf is ignored, edge dulls, ambition wanes, and authority erodes imperceptibly. Daily rituals sustain hunger. Review objectives, refine strategies, and confront personal limits. Let the wolf pace within, growl with purpose, and remain vigilant. In a team meeting, when a peer disputes your strategic direction, respond with calm, focused reasoning that redirects energy toward the objective rather than personal conflict. Weak, react emotionally. Strong, harness energy strategically. Channel internal drive into visible progress. Let ambition manifest in action, not noise. Every small victory nourishes the wolf, reinforcing instinct with evidence. Inaction is the enemy of strength. Patrol your internal landscape, identify areas of stagnation, and inject challenges deliberately. Hunger must be continuous. It cannot be satisfied temporarily without weakening. Cultivate awareness of external dynamics, exploit timing, and maintain readiness to move when advantage emerges. The field of competition favors those who endure, who remain alert, who convert desire into relentless momentum. The wolf thrives in the mind of the disciplined, patient, and ambitious. Feed it daily, respect its instincts, and allow its presence to sharpen judgment and drive. The edge of dominance is maintained not by comfort, but by the constant tension of need, transformed into strategy. Let complacency die before it dulls your influence. Let desire forge resilience, patience dictate timing, and calculated risk define action. Nourish the wolf, harness the hunger, command the field, feed the wolf, sharpen the edge. Every move carries consequence. Life mirrors a chessboard where foresight determines survival. Your pieces are your resources, your relationships, your reputation. Sacrifice for position when necessary, understanding that losing a minor engagement can secure a decisive victory later. Historical examples abound. Empires expanded not through reckless conquest, but through careful timing and strategic patience. Observe opponents closely. Patterns emerge in behavior, in decision-making, and in systemic tendencies. A grandmaster anticipates the responses of every piece, calculating outcomes before committing. So must you map the environment of influence, predicting reactions and positioning yourself for advantage. Pause before action, weighing each choice against long-term objectives. Tactical patience often outweighs immediate gratification. When a colleague resists a proposed plan, respond with composure and logic, reframing resistance into alignment without undermining authority. Weak confrontation, strong, guided adaptation. Visualize each step as an extension of power, a deliberate assertion of presence and control. Use sacrifice deliberately. A concession today may secure leverage tomorrow. Assess the value of every engagement. Avoid overcommitting to positions that yield no strategic gain. Study the flow of influence as a chess player studies an opponent's tendencies. Observe openings, anticipate traps, and recognize when timing amplifies impact. Historical rulers who expanded dominion relied on patience, often retreating temporarily to consolidate forces, avoiding rash confrontation, and waiting for a moment that maximized gain. Apply this principle in modern life. Negotiate carefully, choose battles that enhance position, and step back when advantage is marginal. Maintain situational awareness continuously. Understand that the board is dynamic, positions shift, alliances change, and what was strength can become vulnerability. Reinforce adaptability alongside strategic foresight. Every move communicates intent. Missteps are instructive only when analyzed with clarity. Discipline your decision-making as a general plans campaigns, sequencing actions for cumulative effect. Control the tempo, dictating when engagements occur rather than reacting impulsively. Measure risk consistently. Predict counteractions, prepare for contingency. Let each choice reflect mastery, not impulse. Momentum arises from calculated accumulation of positional advantage, each minor decision reinforcing your broader strategy. The essence of power lies in anticipation, patience, and the judicious balance of sacrifice against gain. Accept that temporary setbacks are instruments of long-term ascendancy. Train perception to identify subtle shifts in opportunity and threat. Cultivate calm under pressure, and allow foresight to dictate tempo and commitment. Life rewards those who play deliberately, valuing position over immediate conquest. Move with precision, master the board, Discipline is the forge upon which your spine is hardened, each repetition a hammer striking the metal of will. Begin each day with ritual, knowing that consistency compounds, transforming ordinary effort into mastery that commands respect. Habits shape the mind like armor, conditioning it to endure pressure without yielding. Resistance met calmly becomes a proving ground. Every obstacle strengthens resilience. Visualize extremes, storms of conflict, torrents of criticism, waves of distraction. The rituals you perform daily become the scaffolding that keeps you upright when chaos rages. Treat your schedule as a general treat on the battlefield. Plan, execute, repeat. Small, deliberate actions accumulate into dominance over self and circumstance. Endure what others avoid. Persist when effort tires the untrained, and maintain focus as the world attempts to fracture it. Strategic consistency is not convenience. It is the weapon of those who will not bend. Resist indulgence that weakens purpose. Each denial is a reinforcement of sovereignty over desire. Like a commander training troops, train yourself, ensuring readiness before engagement. Observe challenges without haste, respond without panic, and internalize lessons swiftly. When faced with doubt, maintain posture. Let your presence communicate competence and neutralize resistance without overt conflict. Weak, reacting impulsively. Strong, measured adherence. Stress becomes an opportunity when rituals prime the mind for confrontation. Your daily exercises of discipline, whether mental, physical, or procedural, forge resilience until calm authority is reflexive. Visualize hypothetical trials, standing unmoved as criticism swells or opportunity slips past others who lack preparation. These scenarios test your capacity. Ritual makes them manageable. Repetition strengthens neural pathways, embedding focus and endurance until adversity is routine rather than threat. Maintain ritual even when comfort tempts relaxation. Mastery is cultivated through deliberate, repeated effort. Every morning you commit to the grind, your spine stiffens metaphorically, preparing you to face storms without faltering. Cultivate patience alongside persistence, understanding that mastery is incremental. Each disciplined act is a deposit into the bank of authority, each habit a shield against erosion of will. Failures become data, not defeat. Setbacks are trials that reveal resilience. Persist through monotony, honor consistency over comfort, and let repetition imprint fortitude upon your mind. Stand unshaken, train with intent, and let your spine, internalized and unyielding, carry the weight of challenge without bending. Forge the spine, wield the mind. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Your presence alone becomes the battlefield on which others measure themselves. Command without approval. Sovereignty does not wait for applause or consent. Each gesture, each choice, each pause is a calculated strike that signals competence and authority without needing validation. Position yourself strategically, like a general surveying the field, knowing that influence is often invisible yet undeniable. Your reputation and intellect serve as silent weapons, shaping outcomes before action is required. Observe rivals, colleagues, and allies alike. Your decisions should reflect anticipation, not reaction. Let others argue over praise while you consolidate power through preparation and execution. Weak, seeking recognition. Strong, commanding through presence. Cultivate a demeanor that disarms without engagement, letting your strategic positioning dictate the terms of interaction. Invisible influence magnifies when you refrain from needless demonstration. Restraint communicates mastery. Set benchmarks for performance and character, becoming the reference point against which others gauge themselves. A subordinate challenges your directive calmly. Respond with measured clarity, reinforcing authority while maintaining composure, letting the act solidify your untouchable stance. Repetition of disciplined choices strengthens perception. Consistency enforces a psychological edge that cannot be contested openly. Every calculated withdrawal, every deliberate silence, every precise intervention signals that control resides within you, not the approval of others. Train intellect as a weapon. Sharpen perception to detect opportunities and threats before they arise. Let restraint and foresight guide action, converting observation into leverage. Others will mirror tension without knowing its source. Your authority becomes axiomatic. Maintain the balance between visibility and obscurity, ensuring your moves are felt even when unseen. Influence extends beyond immediate action, establishing norms that ripple through systems and interaction. Stand immovable, let presence dominate space and time, and allow strategy to precede execution. When tested, respond with the composure of one who has rehearsed every contingency. Let competitors miscalculate while you advance silently. The game played in thought before motion. Measure your own ascent against personal standards, not external validation, and forge habits that reinforce autonomy. Position, intellect, and presence coalesce into a force that cannot be touched without consequence. Dominate subtly, act decisively, and project calm certainty that defines untouchable authority. Command presence. Transcend It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. The crown is not given, it is forged through relentless strategy, daily mastery, and calculated presence. Every morning you rise, sharpen your focus like a blade, calibrate your mind as a battlefield, and prepare for the unseen attacks that approach from every angle. Silence becomes your shield, obscuring intention while allowing observation. Hesitation is the fatal weakness of those who fail to anticipate. Adopt the mask of controlled tension, blending approachability with the quiet threat of decisiveness. Your will is the army, disciplined and unyielding. Your mind, the general commanding it. The wolf does not announce its hunt, yet all prey measure its dominance in instinctive caution. Each ritual of preparation compounds, converting minor choices into strategic advantage. Let every move you make, every gesture you withhold, resonate like a calculated strike on a chessboard where pawns and kings alike are contained within your foresight. Internal mastery neutralizes fear and distraction, ensuring your external actions reflect inevitability rather than luck. Command without approval. Let praise or dissent pass like wind over stone. Observe a subordinate dispute a directive calmly. Respond with measured authority, reinforcing dominance without yielding tension. Weak, seeking validation. Strong, acting with impenetrable certainty. Invisible influence grows as you refrain from needless demonstration. Your presence alone enforces consequence. Establish yourself as the benchmark against which all others measure success. Strength and cunning. Position, intellect, and controlled demeanor coalesce into an aura that precludes contestation. Repetition of disciplined habits ensures resilience, while foresight transforms potential threats into predictable patterns. Picture the throne atop the battlefield. Every opponent's move anticipated, every opportunity seized before it arises, every outcome shaped by your strategic hand. Decisions flow with precision, guided by accumulated rituals and refined judgment. Let your ascent be measured against personal standards, not the applause or envy of others. As rivals attempt subversion, respond with calm clarity, neutralizing opposition through presence, timing, and calculated restraint. Every choice, from minor interactions to major maneuvers, reinforces the perception of control, establishing inevitability. Authority radiates from mastery over self, extending into influence over environments, systems, and individuals. The convergence of intellect, discipline, and psychological acuity forms a singular force that is unassailable, unmeasured by conventional metrics, and untouched by ephemeral judgments. Stand immovable, act decisively, and cultivate silent supremacy that shapes the world around you. Master yourself, command all. The crown is maintained through vigilance, not assumption. Each day, Treat your life as a battlefield where small victories compound into dominance. Repetition is your weapon, discipline is your shield. Begin by mastering the morning, controlling the first hours when opportunity and threat converge. Silence sharpens awareness. Observe without announcing intent. Let others reveal strategy through action. Internal mastery allows external command. Hesitation is the predator's advantage. When a subordinate challenges your directive, respond with calm authority, asserting clarity without aggression. Weak, over-explaining. Strong, decisive reinforcement. Guard every interaction, every word as if it were a move on the chessboard, each action reinforcing the pattern of control. Neglect these rituals, and rivals exploit the void. Complacency invites usurpation. Daily vigilance is not heroic display, but quiet, relentless repetition. Incremental wins that accrue invisible but decisive influence. Presence is your fortress. It communicates readiness, competence, and unyielding resolve. Anticipate threats before they materialize, neutralize them through preemptive clarity, and maintain psychological dominance without overt confrontation. Let the rhythm of disciplined habits dictate the pace of your environment. Each decision, each withheld comment strengthens the structure of authority. External power flows from internal mastery. A ruler unsettled internally projects weakness externally. Recognize that influence is cumulative. Subtle acts of preparation, observation, and timely execution forge a reputation that commands respect without solicitation. Allow no compromise of standards. Vigilance is daily maintenance, not occasional exertion. The throne you occupy is not a gift, but the product of constant methodical strategy. Through repetition and deliberate action, your authority becomes instinctive to others, unquestioned and enduring. Exercise restraint, act with precision, and fortify the foundation of dominance. Observe, act, and hold fast. Each day is a reinforcement of sovereignty, every choice a brick in the fortress of your rule. The predator watches not for chaos, but for patterns. Emulate its focus, its patience, its inexorable progress. In the quiet accumulation of disciplined victories lies the final edge. Observe in silence, command with presence, rule without apology.